Hello, everyone, and welcome to the ESCA Legal Lounge. Today, it's the Thursday before the holiday break. We are wrapping up all of our deadlines and some major projects, as I'm sure you all are too. We wanted to hop on here and talk about some of the things that we're working on and also give a little holiday update. So, Angela had the idea to have a holiday specific live to talk about some of the things that we are currently doing for work and the holidays. So I think it's appropriate for Angela to start.
Okay, my favorite things
And we're
about
super festive.
I'm trying here, and my kids had their holiday parties at school today, and I went to my son's, and I brought my Santa earrings out for that to be super fun. Although we made snowmen and did everything else, so it was a lot of fun. But some of my favorite traditions for the holiday season is, well, first of all, I really loved our partners' dinner. So anytime there is a fun, festive holiday party, I think that we all can agree that is one thing that is so fun about the holiday season. Unfortunately, it was raining when we went to the city, so I didn't get to really enjoy any of the fun city attractions when we went. But that was a totally a fun evening. And then I also just love Christmas Eve, and I love being with family. And growing up, my aunt and uncle would do the Italian seven fishes, and I would love that part. We would go to church and then eat, and I feel like we would stay up very late, and then we'd be looking for Santa as we were driving home when I was a kid. And then even as an adult, I just really just loved that part of that dinner. And then Christmas morning, just opening gifts and having a more relaxed breakfast before we went on with our day. So those are my favorite holiday traditions. Do you want to know what I'm doing work-wise?
I do.
You do? Okay. Well, the end of the year is always fun, right? We're trying to get as much as we can done and also taking time for our families. But I've been doing a lot with design patents and some other patent filings, and that is really exciting for me as we're growing the patent practice here at ESCA, that I can help our clients grow their patent portfolios. And also, I've made some great new relationships over the past few months and helping others with their clients who need patent assistance in the US. And it's been a lot of fun. And I've also really enjoyed learning more about the trademark and sending cease and desist letters.
No, I love that. Yeah, you've done fantastic work and we just continue to grow and evolve. I also love your holiday traditions. I think I love that you did that. I think that's what we'll say is we'll each of us will give a holiday tradition, say what we're working on. Then I think because it's probably going to be we're not going to do one before New Year's. We can also give like a prediction or a heads up on what's coming. Like there's some trademark updates that people need to know about. So we can close out with that. Nicole, do you want to talk about some of your holiday traditions and
Sure.
what you're working on?
Sure. So in our house, we celebrate both Hanukkah and Christmas. So this year, the first night of Hanukkah falls on Christmas. So we have our menorah next to our Christmas tree. And I have small children, so they love the whole season. We decorated our Christmas tree the day after Thanksgiving. Every morning, they look forward to putting it on, and we've decorated our house for the first time this year, really kind of went for it. And the kids just love it. And then I love to just tell my daughter that Santa's always watching to make sure that she's behaving and going to bed when she needs to go to bed. So it's just a very fun, festive season. And we're going to be celebrating it down in Florida this year, which I'm very excited to escape the 30-degree weather. What am I working on? So I'm actually very excited to share that Francesca Madison and our whole trademark and IP team have really given me a very solid education in filing my own trademark applications. I've obviously had broad exposure to managing an IP portfolio in my in-house experience and obviously also here. But for the first time being able to do applications on my own, which has been a really exciting thing that I can now offer my clients, particularly the ones that I know their business and I know exactly what they should be filing for. And being able to do that myself, I think provides them with, an extra layer of comfort, and that they don't, otherwise feel good about. And so it's been an exciting season.
You're also managing litigation. You've also expanded that. Talk about that.
Managing litigation, yes, that's been really great. Lots of different moving parts associated with that, working really closely with our entire team to manage that. And so that's kind of another feather in the proverbial cap, I suppose.
And agreements. You've also expanded. Nicole
Yes.
does anything and everything
It's been
related to
a
agreements.
big month. I've been doing a lot of corporate agreements this year, particularly in the past, I'd say month or two, in addition to obviously like the licensing agreements and more commercial agreements I do, but more kind of corporate governance affiliated agreements, which has been interesting.
That's great. It's our, if you haven't received it yet, you'll be receiving it. Our newsletter, the ESCA Wrapped newsletter, it summarizes all of some of the big IP updates, but also the evolution of ESCA and how we've been growing. So it's amazing to see, we started where we all started, and the purpose of these lives is to just convey that in a really organic way for multiple reasons. But it'll be interesting if we go back and watch the beginning of how, for example, I was just a trademark attorney. Prosecution was my primary. Then I branched out into brand protection, now managing litigation. So I think that's a focus of our firm, is having these deep expertise areas, but also being able to service clients in a more broader, holistic way. So as we keep doing these lives, I'm sure we're going to continue to broaden our skills. Thanks, Nicole. Leo, you're next.
Sure. So I also celebrate Hanukkah, and as a Jew, we celebrate Christmas in our own way, and usually involves Chinese food. One of my favorite things about living in New York during the holidays is feeling like I'm not obligated to travel and instead can just spend quiet time with my loved ones here, away from the noise of the airports and the train stations and the bus stations and the traffic, and just walk into restaurants that normally you wouldn't be able to get into. And obviously New York has a ton of great holiday spirit. Love going to the holiday markets. Love going to Fifth Avenue and Rockefeller Center and fighting through tourists every once in a while. And it's fun in controlled doses. But yeah, that's my tradition, is just is doing nothing and enjoying that. Just spending quiet time and enjoying the city as it gets quiet on Christmas and picks back up into the new year.
Leo, what
And
are the million things you're working on?
yeah, and despite the fact that it can be quiet, of course the work never stops for the clients, and the court dates don't change just because it's Christmas. Of course, the court's closed on Christmas, but we continue to have deadlines. We continue to do good work for clients over the holidays to meet those deadlines. Among other things, we have several matters for clients whose goodwill and their brand has been ripped off, and a lot of them have consumer goods where the holidays is an important time for them. So despite the fact that the courts can quiet and things can quiet, the work goes on, and it's still really important that we do what we do, especially around the holidays when the sales season is so important to them.
Leo has been doing massive litigation programs for a few brands that have good IP but are getting knocked off on a mass scale. So it's wild to see how it's evolved. But we've gotten some great results. I think we got over $250,000 in settlement fees for one of our clients. So just really a huge shout out, Leo, to your efforts. And Angela was a huge piece of that too, because she's been doing the patent side. And Nicole has been our litigation coordinator, making sure that we're all organized and on top of things. So it's totally, I said to one client the other day, we make it look like magic, but it's not. Behind the scenes, there's spreadsheets and internal meetings and procedures and templates to keep everything flowing well. So just huge shout out to you guys, because you're getting great results for clients. So I think we should all now say, we could switch to the New Year's piece. What trends or
Wait,
what predictions?
We missed something. You
What
didn't
did we
tell
miss?
us your favorite traditions, did you?
Oh,
No.
I told them in my head. Okay. Sorry. It's one of those days, like I'm trying to cut back on coffee again, and it's not good. Okay. So, we were supposed to have my sister-in-law come, who has twins, 1-year-old twins, who now have they're sick. So rather than come, they're going to push to New Year's. So we're going to have a bunch of people over for New Year's. Christmas will be quiet and nice, like Leo, like you said, it'll be a quiet time just to relax and spend time with loved ones. And then I'm still working. It's still business as usual. I actually think it's a busier time. We don't really close up until Monday. So trying to get as much done as we can for clients, especially with the year end. So we'll be busy tomorrow and Monday, and then we'll take some time off. But in terms of, I'm excited to hit pause and take a little bit of a breather. My whole house is decorated. I should post a picture later of the house. My mother-in-law came over, and she's literally like Martha Stewart and just decked out the house. So, and then things we're working on, it's hard to keep up, which is why I like doing these lives, because we could see the evolution. But now we're continuing with the second round of litigation for a big consumer product company that's been knocked off globally. We are also in the middle of another round of litigation for a big consumer product client, and handling mass trademark, copyright, patent filing programs. So it has been, I'll take a minute to reflect that shifting from being a lawyer to a lawyer that is now managing a team, it's always something that's a lot challenging for a lot of lawyers. And that's why most lawyers don't do it, because you have sort of one job, you're taking on a second job. But it is so rewarding to see pushing everyone and kind of throwing, even you all into roles that I know you're absolutely competent and confident to handle, but watching you thrive and build the confidence on your own and get really good results has been super rewarding. So I think for the next year, that's what I'm going to continue to prioritize, letting you all learn and grow, of course, with our team of experts to guide us all, but the professional and personal development of each of our lawyers and professionals is absolutely critical. I saw a video the other day. It took Steve Jobs 18 seconds to answer this question. Someone asked him, what was the biggest thing that you learned by working at Apple over the years? And his answer was that he evolved to begin taking a long-term perspective on his team and employees. So if someone makes a mistake or doesn't succeed the first time, he used to, which is what most people do, you may write off an employee for making a mistake, or you may fire them. But rather than fire them, he learned how to take the approach of investing in his hires and giving them the tools to succeed. So giving them the right tools, templates, having them work with experts, whatever it is that they need to succeed and try again to grow. Because I think we forget that we are creatures of intellect that have the capacity to grow, especially in law. We think, oh, I'm really good at this and I'm only going to be really good at this one thing. But as our team and as you all having this call, like on this live today, all the partners here have grown immensely. I agree with Steve Jobs that I think taking a long-term approach to people instead of a short-term approach where Angela's only going to be a patent lawyer, Nicole's only going to be a contract lawyer, Leo's only going to do these types of litigation, instead of allowing us all, myself included, to grow and evolve into these really incredible lawyers and business-minded people to counsel for clients has been super cool. And we're also doing this with our associates, which of course is scary because they're young and they're junior. But again, I think by having training systems, mentoring, templates, instead of keeping people confined, you allow them to flourish and grow. So that is going to be the focus on my end for 2025, is having you guys just continue to grow, and I'll continue to manage. But it's been awesome, and it's crazy to think about how much we've grown in so little of time. Yeah. Okay. We can wrap up by saying our quick prediction. Trademark. So I'll say this. 2025 in IP and trademarks, we are definitely in for a little ride. The AI copyright litigation cases are continuing along, and we're following them closely. There is going to be a new administration, if you will, for the PTO, on who's governing the PTO. There is also changes with fees for trademarks. So if you don't already follow us, make sure to follow us on LinkedIn and also sign up for our newsletter, because we're going to be continuing to advise on these trademark and IP updates. Angela, do you have any predictions or trends or something for 2025 to look forward to?
No, I mean, I think that like patent filings are still going to keep increasing, and just the AI and kind of how it is impacting it, I think will still come into play as an AI companies grow and get the protection that they are actually able to get, whereas they're not able to get protection on obviously something generated by AI, but there's still so much tech coming out of that. And also, I think that I'm interested to see if the whole design patent practitioner program that launched last January, it's going to be a year this January. If it grows and kind of how that actually evolves, which I find is an interesting aspect in the patent world, that they've now let non-attorneys and non-patent agents in to help the USPTO with filing design patents.
I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, no, I do too. Yeah, I'm just interested how it's going to evolve, right? And that's something that I feel like impacts a lot of our clients as well.
Totally. Nicole?
I'm keen to see how the new administration impacts certain areas that touch all of us and touch me. The two topics that I think of quickly are privacy, and also sustainability. And because those are two things that come up a lot in the agreements that I work with, particularly data privacy and ESG requirements, sustainability measures, stuff like that. So it's something I think that we're all just going to keep our eye on, and in how the law evolves or doesn't. And it's just something to keep track of.
Thanks, Nicole. Leo?
Well, I think you touched a little bit on AI. I think that's not going to stop. Particularly, I think the trend there will likely see more licensing deals, as some of the companies have entered into. But more importantly, I hope to see some updates in the application of the fair use doctrine and secondary liability principles, particularly when it comes to things like the outputs that generative AI put out. there's a big question as to who's responsible for that, who should be held liable when an output is infringing. And that and many other questions, I'm hoping we'll see more guidance on in the next year.
Things are moving so fast in terms of technology that, we'll continue to apply traditional principles to new mediums, but it is so fascinating. I think if you think about where we were in 2019, pre-AI, pre-NFTs, before blockchain really was more mainstream, we are expected to see that continued exponential growth of technology, and with it will come legal problems. So we'll continue to stay abreast and report back to our followers and our clients. We are at the top of the half hour. So with that, thank you everyone for watching, whether you watched it live or you're watching the recording. We are here bi-weekly. We'll put our updated times shortly, but make sure to follow us on ESCA Legal on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and you could follow all of our accounts individually. Nicole, Dolgan, Leo, and Angela and I are all on social media. Thank you, everyone. We wish you a wonderful, wonderful holiday. Happy Hanukkah, Merry Christmas, and have a wonderful New Year.